Hey, what's up, y'all? Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. So, I think this is going to be a first. I got my appearance on Crain and Company at 7:30, so that's in 4 minutes. I figured what I would do here is that's normally when I'm on morning scone, but I wanted to help these guys out like I always do. So I figured what I would do here is just do my appearance on Crain and Company as morning scone. So Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, and of course Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, which I had to take the sign down because I'm doing the Crain and Company stream. But anyway, all right, I'm going to go ahead and click here and go backstage for Crain and Company. And y'all should be able to hear the questions. It is game week. We will no doubt talk LSU, Florida State. My guess is they'll also ask me about the Notre Dame guy. HudcoRoofing.com. All right, let's see. Host will let you in the meeting soon. We've all got to know that pretty well. Shout out, everybody. Hope you're having a great, here we go. We hope you're having a great Monday.
Hey Matt, this is Justine. Can you hear me?
Hey, Justine, I got you. Yep, how are you?
Awesome.
How does this look?
Thanks again for joining. You guys are excited.
Absolutely. How does this look?
Looks great.
Okay. All right.
Could you give us a quick 5 count, please?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect, thank you. And I'll open up programs so you can hear the guys.
Great, thank you.
And up here and say, look, scared money don't make no money, but there's also levels to it. There's also time and score. There's also being not stupid, but being cavalier.
You just got the momentum, and your defense hasn't proven they can stop or tackle anyone. Don't give them the ball at
You're up
midfield.
2 scores, second half, and you just put them on the porch, bang, 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 3 plays later. Now they believe it.
I know we get it where it's like, okay, well, if they get that onside kick, all of a sudden, okay, now you've taken the momentum you had and you poured gasoline on it, and Scott Frost is the most brilliant coach of all time.
Yeah, well, if
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
You just can't do that in that situation.
But now nobody in Lincoln's having a Merry Christmas. Christmas is ruined.
Already? Is Christmas?
Scott Frost just ruined Christmas
already in August.
He is the Grinch. Is Scott Frost the Grinch?
I think he just needs to Ted Lasso this thing, man. Just stay over there. You're a
don't
soccer coach.
I don't even know if that can help. But I want to go ahead and get this thing to Maddie. You ready?
Oh, let's
Y'all ready
do
for
it.
this?
Scone is in?
This is going to be good.
Scone's here?
Scone, welcome back, my friend.
It's a football Monday when we're already second-guessing coaches. I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Scott Frost, this is really like 8th guessing. I mean, you're 15-30 overall. You have the worst winning percentage in the last 75 years at Nebraska. I mean, man, dude, he's making Bo Pelini look like Bill Belichick out there.
Your boy executes the onside kick at a running back, by the way. How is that the look you wanted? It's not a defensive lineman with big eyes. It's a running back. You kicked it right to a running back.
Yeah, it's like on the water boy when he's about to kick the onside kick and he's looking and everybody looks calm and the one guy's like freaking out. He, just absolutely has no ball skills. But I want to get into kind of, some week 0 impressions from you, Maddie, just from, which I hate that term. But before we get into that, Florida State LSU preview. Obviously last week, Brian Driscoll from Irish Breakdown had some choice words about Brian Kelly. I know you saw that. I want to give you the floor here, Mr. Moscona, and let you respond.
Well, I'll say this. A bit of context, guys, and I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I grew up like a big Notre Dame fan, Catholic, South Louisiana. In 1996, on a Friday after school, my family loaded up the van and drove through the night to South Bend to go to a game at South Bend in Notre Dame Stadium. It was the last year of the Lou Holtz era. They played Air Force. I got to watch the first ever overtime game at Notre Dame Stadium. They lost, by the way, to Air Force. Ron Powless threw a pick, and then Air Force kicked a field goal. My freshman year of college, I went to Holy Cross in South Bend, so I lived there for a year. I worked out at the Rockney facility. I studied at the Hesburgh Library, which is Touchdown Jesus. I had student tickets to Notre Dame football, so like I am very, very, very aware of Notre Dame culture. Okay, like I lived in it for a year.
Yeah.
It is a very different place, specifically to what Brian Driscoll said. And guys, full context, like I did not hear your full interview. All I saw was the 60-second clip that y'all posted with Cone's question, his response. The thing where I think he missed the mark, and again, I'm just going off a 60-second clip. In one breath, he said Brian Kelly won't win a championship because he won't recruit at the level needed. And then the next breath said the problem at Notre Dame wasn't talent, it was lack of big game production, that Brian Kelly didn't coach up the talent in the big games. Well, that's a massive contradiction, or I'm to believe it's easier to recruit at Notre Dame than it is at LSU, which is a fundamental absurdity. LSU posted a picture yesterday, I don't know if y'all saw it. It was the football players on the LSU team that are from Louisiana. There are 59 of them. 59! There are 8 players on Notre Dame's roster from Indiana. Guys, presently, in the 247 composite, use whatever rankings you want, there are 3 top 300 players from the state of Indiana. There are 16 from Louisiana. There's more top 100 players in Louisiana. There's more top 50 players in Louisiana than there are top 300 players in the state of Indiana. There is a fundamental truth about LSU, and Nick Saban proved it when he came here in 2000 and he won a national championship in 2003. If you put a fence around the state, if you get the best players to stay home, you can win at the highest level. Les Miles did it, Ed Ogeron did it, and now the onus is on Brian Kelly to do it. And the thing that he did, which was very self-aware, which, again, I don't know what he did at Notre Dame. I don't know what his recruiting staff looked like. I don't know. Like, I'd lean on the Irish guys to know that. But the one thing Brian Kelly did when he was hired that was very self-aware is he assembled a staff of people that know how to recruit the state, that have deep, deep roots in Louisiana. Frank Wilson is New Orleans high school royalty. Cortez Hankton, who was the receiver coach at Georgia last year, is from New Orleans. Joe Sloan, his quarterback's coach, was at Louisiana Tech, whose recruiting territory was Baton Rouge and New Orleans. He retained offensive line coach Brad Davis, who's from Baton Rouge. Guys, he built a staff of dudes that know this state and are deeply rooted in the high school football coaching culture that are going to be able to get those players to stay home. He's already doing it. So I think there's also truth, and I know I'm taking up the whole time, sorry about that, but there's some truth to be told also, whether one acknowledges it or not, in sort of like the jilted lover syndrome. I mean, Notre Dame people aren't going to be cheering for Brian Kelly. It's like when if your significant other breaks up with you, like you want to do better than them. You know, you're a little
for sure.
You're a little hurt, and you want to do better with your next boo than they do. So, I mean, I get the feel and the emotion, all that stuff, but it's also super naive to look at all of the resources at LSU and assume that a coach of Brian Kelly's caliber isn't going to be able to win at the highest level when we've seen Les Miles and Ed Ogeron do it, guys.
Yeah, no, that was my question. I mean, it's easier at LSU, as crazy as that sounds, even though they're in the SEC West with Alabama. That state is saturated as it is. And hearing you say the word boo, Matt, I mean, I had totally comprehended everything you said. And then right when you said that, speaking of neuralized, it neuralized me. But, Coney, what do you got?
Well, we got our first look at Florida State this weekend. I saw you tweeting some things about the offensive line and the defense. What I want to know is there a position group that Florida State has the advantage over LSU going into week 1?
Did I use boo correctly, by the way? I think I did.
You
Didn't
did.
I? Okay,
Like,
good.
you're basically Chris Brown now.
Cool. I'm just trying to make
Keep
sure.
your hands to yourself.
You know, I don't like.
I changed my question. What's your favorite Chris Brown song?
Can I go with Chris Brown, Jordan Sparks, No Air, or does that just take my cool level way back down here?
No,
You're asking the wrong
like
guy,
the
right?
speed in which you just answered that is equal parts shocking and somewhat horrifying.
What if I told you it was the
I don't
only Chris
know.
Brown song that I know?
I would believe you 100%.
Or would I? More than me for sure.
Okay.
No, I mean, do you think Florida State has an advantage at any position group over LSU?
I think these two teams are mirror images. I think Florida State's running back room is deeper. The three guys that they rolled through were really impressive. But, I think if you would have asked me last week, and I honestly just talking to all the Florida State guys, their offensive line was kind of a big question. And boy, they played bully ball against Duquesne. I mean, they ran it, I think, over 50 times in the ball game for 400 yards, averaged 7 yards a pop. The big question is, will they be able to do that against LSU? Guys, that's the game. And I don't know that I saw anything from Jordan Travis and those receivers that leads me to believe they're going to be able to make plays in the passing game consistently. So are they going to be able to line it up and run it 50 times against LSU, where the strength is LSU's defensive front? I don't think so. But if you flip that, I think LSU's going to have trouble blocking Florida State's defensive front too. So I think whichever offensive line holds up is the one that's going to win this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, too, when I was watching that game and look, Duquesne, we know, do they have the best players ever?
For
no,
sure.
But, I want one of those guys defending me in the court of law if something goes down. The Jordan Travis comment, Matt, I'm with you. I watched him. We know what type of player he is. I just think we know his ceiling. Like I didn't see anything in the past game that you mentioned that was like, wow, Jordan Travis has really put it together. He's going to be a huge problem. To me, you have got to make that guy beat you through the air. When you look, Scone, at the matchup, and we talk about up front, even if it was a stalemate, what is one thing that you want to see from this LSU offense that has Butte, that has Besh, that has a running back room that is more talented? Is this a game where LSU is going to be able to beat them with explosive plays? Are they going to have to be somewhat methodical going down the field, even with Jaden Daniels being somewhat of a dual threat guy?
Yeah, they may have to do it with explosive plays. What do I want to see? The first part of your question, I want to see LSU run the ball successfully. I don't know if they can. I mean, I think that is the strength of Florida State's defense. They return those two big interior tackles. They replace the ends, but the guys they have look really good. I know they got Verse, the transfer who came up with a big TFL or sack on Saturday. But I think LSU is going to be able to make explosive plays in the passing game. That's just the strength of this football team. There's going to be a time where someone can't run with Kayshon Boutte. They give, if it's Daniels, if it's Nussmeier, enough time to be upright, he's going to hit him. He's going to make a big play. I mean, Boutte did the same thing last year against UCLA, where Max Johnson, if you remember, infamously threw a pass with his back to the line of scrimmage in that game. That's how much duress he was under that whole game. So, I mean, LSU's going to make plays throwing the ball. I don't doubt that at all. I don't know if they're going to be able to establish the line, chew clock if they need to. But that's what I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping that the running backs that they do have, a big offensive line, they're able to move some bodies and get some yards on the ground.
Yeah. You mentioned Max Johnson's name. You and I both think highly of the kid. He's at Texas A&M now, and now Jimbo Fisher has named Haynes King the starting quarterback. Obviously, LSU finishes at Texas A&M this season. How do you think this will play out this season, Matt? Is Max Johnson going to be involved, and if so, how early?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know everything about A&M's offense, right? But I would be very surprised if you have a quarterback battle that goes this deep into camp, right, to the week of the game. At some point, every team at some point is going to hit speed bumps. You're going to face adversity. Your offense is going to get stuck in the mud. At some point, they're going to look over their shoulder and they're going to put Max in the game. And guys, honestly, I would suggest that even though Haynes King is going to take the first snap, look at A&M's first two games. They played Sam Houston State and help me, I don't remember who the other one is, but it's another layup. If you know it.
Yeah, I got it. Hold on.
It doesn't matter. They're basically playing two rental wins.
App State.
Okay, so they're playing two rental wins. Both quarterbacks are going to play. Like, both quarterbacks are going to play in those two games. And then week 3, they're hosting Miami. So really, they can extend this another couple of weeks to know. I will tell you, I'm more bullish on Max Johnson, I think, than most. And I think he would be more than serviceable for them. I think Haynes King's probably a little better athlete. If that's what Jimbo wants, okay. But yeah, I'd be surprised if we didn't see a lot of Max Johnson this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. Leno? I mean, Matt, what's up? First of all, I have a real simple question. Hey, LSU minus 2.5 right now. Does LSU cover with Florida State? Ooh, look at it.
So first of all, for my guy,
Oh,
for my guy.
I knew
Hey.
Notre Dame. No air, but George Sparks.
Cut the feed.
Now you're putting the Yankees.
Cut the
I
feed.
gotta love you, man.
Hey, look. I mean, you know, the last time I was here, Blaine, you know what they asked me? Are the Yankees dead? You know what I said? No, the Yankees aren't dead. You got like 86 more games. What are you talking about? Are they dead?
Well,
Get out of here. They dead.
They've got 5 hits in their last 19 innings. Swept the Mets.
They sweep the Mets. They go score 13 against
Thank
the
you.
A's. Come on.
Thank you, Matt, by the
Come
way.
on.
We
Come
really,
on.
as Braves fans, we appreciate you guys doing that. And, of course, we didn't take advantage last night, but that's why you got the Rockies coming to town for a 3-game set. Come on, let's go. Together, let's do it, guys.
No.
What did you ask me, Blaine? What did you ask me?
Does LSU cover?
Is it two?
Minus 2.5, minus 3. You know, what are you thinking? I want an honest opinion.
I think it's a game in the 20s, and I think LSU wins a close one. I think I said something like 27-24, 27-20.
That's a cover.
Yes.
There's no way, Matt. I'm just looking at it, man. There's no way with Florida State having the roster they have, you're coming to New Orleans to play the game. There's no way LSU doesn't win that game by a field goal or more. I may be jinxing it.
Yeah, that's like the definition.
No. I'm just telling you, there is no way.
Okay. 2.5
There
is the
is
exact
no
line
way
of the UCLA game
LSU
last
doesn't
year.
win that game by 3
Yeah.
or more.
Hey,
I'm not picking it yet.
Cone, I'll tell you this. You know what? Whenever there's a close game, I usually lean on 3 criteria. This is just me. I go quarterback, coach, venue. And a year ago,
Coach venue.
yes, and a year ago against UCLA, Dorian Thompson-Robinson or Max Johnson, we should have given the edge to DTR. Chip Kelly or Ed Ogeron, obvious. And they played the game at the Rose Bowl, and UCLA had a week 0 game against Hawaii. That was all of us giving LSU a pass for 2020 because of the COVID year and everything, and not realizing the flaws that existed.
Me included.
No, we're all in that boat. I think considering what they did in 2019, 2020 felt like a one-off, but what 21 proved was that's just what Ed Ogeron was. 2019 was the one-off. But I look at this game and I go, Brian Kelly or Mike Norvell, give me Brian Kelly. I think quarterbacks are probably a push. It's really hard to differentiate at this point. And then venue, they're playing that in New Orleans. It's a de facto home game for LSU.
For sure.
So I like LSU in a close game. Look, man, there's LSU fans right now who are picking this thing like 48-17. I'm like, y'all are high. Okay, that's not happening. But I do think a little more disciplined LSU team, probably a little bit more talented roster in that venue. I do think LSU finds a way to win. And one more factor, guys. Remember, Brian Kelly last year at Notre Dame opened up against Florida State. So he's very familiar with Norvell, with that talent, with that squad. Like he coached against them a year ago. So I think maybe that's maybe a little, if you're looking for one more little factor that may weigh in, he's got a game plan against these guys.
Nice. Deep dive.
Blaine, Booster Club, any questions for Matt? Yeah, Carson Everett wants to know what games are a must-win for Brian Kelly in his first year.
I don't.
All of them.
So listen, I'll put it to you this way: I hate the term "must win" because when you say "must win," it means there's consequences if you don't. There are no consequences year one for Brian Kelly if he doesn't win. For the season he'd like to have, I think you need to beat the Mississippi schools at home. You got to beat Ole Miss and you got to beat Mississippi State in your building, if for nothing else, just to maintain order in the SEC West.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Matty, we appreciate you, my friend. After further review, great stuff. Tell everybody else where they can find your content.
If you could spell my name, you can find me. Moscona. I'm on all the socials, ESPN, radio stations all throughout Louisiana, YouTube, everywhere. So always appreciate you fellas.
Hey, you too, my friend.
You're the best, man.
Yeah, we'll
Go
talk
Yankees,
next week.
Matt.
Gonna be interested to watch your boy.
Put it on, baby.
Wow, you just verbally
We gotta
committed
get
to
Matt
the
on here
Yankees.
more.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know what?
Matt's been on the last 3 weeks,
We
man.
should get him on maybe.
Yeah. Come on every day, Matt. Every day.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Part of Crain and Company, new co-host, donning the Yankee hat every day.
Our new Yankees correspondent, Matt Moscona. All right, holla at you. All right, Kona, I do want to get into our...
Cool. Is that good? And that's how it's done. All right. So that is how you do, well, radio or an interview. All right, let's see. I got like 5 minutes, so let me see if y'all have comments. Kelly Groves, Wendell Norman, Brant Roban, even though Florida State played a high school team, do you see anything that concerns you? They ran the ball really well. Again, against a physically inferior team, but they ran the ball really well. Hunter Eilers, good morning. A light worker. I think the Tigers should be able to run against Florida State. Hope so. Tracy Poole, Juan, what's up, man? A show within a show. Brad David, this is a cool experience. Cool, man. Jason Mabia, Weston Weaver, Edward O, Tim Gotro. What's up, y'all? Man, 155 watches. So I guess a lot of y'all just jumped aboard. That I was doing my interview on Crain and Company. So if you want to go, it would actually be really cool having now seen this, right, from my perspective, to go watch the interview on Crain and Company's YouTube channel. So I would highly recommend you go do it. It would be pretty cool to be able to like go back and watch that after having seen it from this vantage point. All right. Where are we? Stephen Fry, you got it, man. Wacky Chris, what's up? Spurge, good morning. Thoughts on the over-under for Sunday's game? Will you watch Bama, Texas on Saturday? I thought Bama, Texas was next week. They don't, no, Bama opens with Texas? I thought they played next week. I mean, yeah, I'll watch everything this weekend. Brett DeGrow, good morning. Oh, over-under, I don't know what the total is. I don't know what the total is on the game, honestly. What is it? My guess it's in the mid-50s. Oh, I don't know what the total is. Let's see. Hunter, will LSU simulate the pistol formation that FSU ran this week in practice? Oh, for sure. I mean, that's what scout team's for. Good morning. Hope you and Tommy are good. Oh, you're saying they hated Tracy. Sorry. Stacy Hatton, what's up? Paul K. That was a lot of fun. Appreciate it, man. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all did enjoy that. Do me a favor, please. Smash that like button. 152 watching, which is awesome. But please smash that like button. Only 30 likes so far. So just take a quick second, smash the like. Also, if you're new, please subscribe up to the YouTube channel. Big day today. So I have not yet laid down LSU Daily yet. That's my apologies on that. It's been hard for me to get it done on Sundays to post Monday mornings. But what I've been doing is every week after the show ends during the week, I go lay down LSU Daily for the next morning. So that's why it's Tuesday through Friday. It's been live at 6 a.m. if you've been looking for it. So, but I'll have it up coming up a little bit later. And AFR, of course, at 3. It's game week. So Brian Kelly's press conference today at noon. You'll hear it on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Also today, the debut of Hanny Time. But I think Hanny's going to go at 11 a.m. on Mondays because of the Brian Kelly press conference at noon. So I think Hanny's going to start a little early on Mondays. Yeah, Bama, Texas is the 10th. I thought that was week 2. And yes, I will watch that. Paul K, what's up, Trey Guy? Morning, Matt. Does Brian Kelly name a quarterback today? Yeah, you know what? Trey, I think so, man. But then again, what do I know? I mean, I thought he would have done it last week, and he didn't. So, I guess I'm waiting like everybody else is. But he did tell us last week that they'd make the decision this weekend and announce it Monday or Tuesday. Well, his press conference is today at noon. It would make a lot of sense to do it today. Kelly doesn't have media availability again until the SEC coaches teleconference on Wednesday morning. So, it would make, and then Thursday after practice. So unless if he really wants to wait till like Thursday after practice to make it public, my guess is he'll go and announce it today. Let's see, Taylor Castanier, game week. Don't know if it's still there, but Caesar Sportsbook had a special with LSU Saints combined. Hey, Taylor, DraftKings. I'm not interested in that one. DraftKings, okay? Respect. I can appreciate what you're doing. You're trying to give people a cool prop bet, but my point is, you should be able to make a cool prop like that at any site, including DraftKings. Lee C, are you still leaning Daniels? Yeah, I mean, for all the reans that I have, but guys, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Garrett. I mean, I've told y'all all along my feeling on Daniels, and this was in the spring and throughout summer, and a lot of y'all have crapped on me for a long time about it. You know who you are, but my feeling on why hasn't changed, and if somebody had emerged and just won the job throughout camp, then that would be different. But the fact that they're still like this close kind of leads me to believe that they'll go with the guy who's more experienced. It's what they did. I'll tell you this: if they were opening against Southern instead of Florida State, much better shot. I think they start Garrett. But I think you're going to go out there against a Power 5 opponent that's already played a game in New Orleans, big stage. Do you want Garrett getting his first start on that stage? Or go with the guy that started 30 times and isn't going to be overwhelmed by that moment? I'm not saying Garrett would be, but that's been, I think, my point all along. But I would not be surprised if they went with Nussmeier. I would not be surprised. I've just told y'all why I think it's going to be Daniels. Let's see, Hughes Bowden, what's up? Let's see, he said, not impressed with the Florida State offensive line. Running backs were breaking tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Boy, there were a lot of times. I want to look at, you know what I'm going to do? So I am going to call, so you remember Gabe Fertitta, who was the Catholic High head coach, left to become an analyst at Louisville. He's now an analyst at Florida State, who does help with the offensive line. I'm going to ask Gabe how they graded their line in this game. I think he'll tell me, but I'm going to ask him because Hughes, here's my point. So they ran the ball 4 times in that game. No doubt there would have been plays where the backs broke tackles behind the line of scrimmage, but if on 54 running plays, if that was 2 or 3 times, brother, I mean, you don't average almost 8 yards a carry and have 3 backs go over 100 yards because your offensive line was getting whipped. That's just you. I mean, Hughes, you understand that as just like a fundamental reality. You don't average 8 yards a carry and run for 400 yards if your offensive line is getting their ass kicked. They're behind kicked. Excuse me. On and Scone. Even I broke my own rule. Let's see. Edward O. Mortimer, Florida State played a cupcake. Did you think they looked better than you expected? The offensive line did, but again, like to the point, what am I to make of that? What am I to make of them running for 400 yards against an FCS school? I don't know. I know LSU's strength is its defensive line. So you have a really good defensive front seven at LSU. Can Florida State move? Look, you'll know all you need to know, man. First time Florida State has the ball, they line up in the pistol, and they do that. That RPO, and they give it to one of their backs. And if Mason Smith blows it up and tackles the guys he's taking the handoff, you know it's going to be a good day for LSU. I mean, if they rip off a 13-yard run on first down. All right, one more. Zachary Hardy. Stocks took a dip on Friday, as well as Bitcoin. Any thoughts? Most of the crypto people, Zachary, think the bottom is not in for crypto yet. And I tend to agree. I mean, I'll tell you candidly, Zachary, when Bitcoin slipped to 19, maybe got down to around 18, I did not hammer that dip. I was waiting for it to get closer to 14. And if it gets around 16, 15 is when I'll probably really pull the trigger and go heavy. I do not think the bottom is in yet for crypto in this bear market. Brandon, what's good? Jason Mobile, what's up, man? How are you? Okay, one more. Matthew Gardner. Morning, do you think this game will set our expectations for our special teams players? Good question. I expect Jay Bramblett to be fine. And I think LSU will find fast, athletic guys that can return punts and kicks. The LSU's always had that. I don't worry about that. I worry about the place kicker. So if you're talking about all of the special teams, not so much. Place kicker, yes, I will be. The first time they trot Damian Ramos out onto the field, I will be holding my breath and saying my prayers. Yes. Okay, y'all. I got to bounce. I got to go get Drew up, get him ready for school. I will have LSU daily up a little bit later. Brian Kelly at noon, AFR3. It's game week, y'all. Have an awesome day. Smash that like button on your way out. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. As always, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. You need North Peters, go to Brock. Need a roof? Call Hudco, HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Peace.